Hello, welcome to Watan Al Karama News Channel. It is 9 p.m. Our time for top stories, and we start with latest developments in Libya. Parliament rejected in a statement the outcome of the internal conference on the Libyan crisis that was held in Rome, regarding it as an external intervention in the internal affairs. The statement held role of the international community to reach a solution to the Libyan crisis, but without imposing decisions by Western powers on the national will and the Libyan people. The statement noted that the Libyan dialogue is the only way to overcome the current conflict in the country. Moreover, the statement pointed out the illegality of the presence of the dissolved dialogue committee during dialogue rounds sponsored by the UN because of unconstitutionality of the committee. People of Benghazi burned a set of tires in Al Karama Square. This came to protest against the attempt to pass the National Unity Government and to reject the UN-sponsored dialogue. During the protest, the city residents raised banners that support the Arab-Libyan armed forces. Final statement of Rome Conference stressed the failure of the international community to deal through the National Unity Government, renewing its strong commitment to sovereignty of Libya, territorial integrity, social cohesion, and the rejection of any foreign interference in the Libyan affairs. UN envoy Martin Kobler called on all Libyan parties to attend the meeting in Sikhirat next Wednesday to sign the final agreement, forget all differences of the past, and exert all efforts for the future. And still, Libya UN envoy to Libya Martin Kobler stressed the need to issue a strong decision that supports the Security Council to give legitimacy to the National Unity Government. Kobler called on all Libyan parties to attend the meeting in Sikhirat next Wednesday to sign the final agreement, forget all differences of the past, and exert all efforts for the future time. Air Force jets launched intensive raids on two gates of terrorist groups west of Benghazi. For his part, a spokesman for Al Karama operations, Nasser Al-Hasi, stressed that the aircraft carried out two stories to target terrorist elements' positions at the gates of University and Al-Gwarisha in a district west of Benghazi. Terrorist Daesh group has issued during recent days a document called the City Document, which serves as a constitution to regulate public life in the city of Sirte. A resident in the city says that the document contains 13 principles and rules. Daesh group announced in the document that it imposed on the people of the city its rejection to the parties and the councils. And regarding the clashes in Tripoli, 7 people were killed and more than 35 wounded during violent clashes in the area between Libyan militias and other groups in Tajura. The clashes broke out among the terrorist groups in the region. Security sources confirmed that some prisoners held inside the Al-Khandaq camp succeeded to escape because of lack of security in the region as a result of these clashes. And now my audience we transfer to the Arab arena and topped with the Yemen's news. Top senior commanders from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates were among dozens of Gulf, Yemeni and Sudanese soldiers killed in a rocket strike in Yemen as fighting flared before Tuesday's peace talks, local media and Yemeni sources said. The rocket strike on a Red Sea army camp southwest of the besieged city of Taiz early today appears to be one of the bloodiest setbacks for Gulf forces in month of fighting against the Houthi forces and Yemeni army units loyal to former President Ali Abdullah Saleh. An Emirati officer was killed near Taiz, Emirati state news agency WAM reported today. Saudi press agency SPA said that two Saudi senior commanders were martyred at dawn today while shouldering their duties in overseeing operations to liberate Taiz. Saudi Arabia has led an Arab coalition in a military campaign since late March to stop the Houthis, allies of Riyadh's main regional foes, Iran, from taking complete control of Yemen after they seized the capital Sana'a last year and advanced south towards the port city of Aden. On to Iraq, U.S. President Barack Obama said today that terrorist Daesh group militants had lost swaths of territory they once controlled in Iraq and Syria, but that progress needed to be made faster against the group. This continues to be a difficult fight. As I said before, Daesh group is dug in, including in urban areas, and they hide behind civilians, using defenseless men, women and children as human shields. So even as we are relentless, we need to be smart, targeting Daesh surgically with precision, Obama said to reporters at a briefing at the Pentagon. Obama said he had tasked Defense Secretary Ash Carter with going to the Middle East to secure more military contributions for the coalition fight against the group, also known as Daesh group. The president listed key leaders who had been killed and promised to do more to degrade the organization. Moreover, the president said the airstrikes had some measured successes. And to Mogherini reactions to Burundi violence, EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini urged today for a halt to violence in Burundi, which left nearly 90 people dead on Friday, the worst outbreak of violence in Burundi since field coup in May. The army said nearly 90 people were killed in Bujumbura when gunmen attacked the 3 military sites in the Burundian capital, sparking a day of clashes across the city. We are in contact with the African Union leadership to facilitate the intra-Burundi dialogue led by the region itself. And we have also prepared some financial support to facilitate this dialogue so we can start immediately. And it's urgent that it start immediately because we have to stop the violence, Mogherini told reporters as she arrived for a meeting for foreign ministers in Brussels. EU foreign ministers also discussed extending sanctions against Russia as they arrived for today's meeting after Italy's unexpectedly demanded last week that a mooted extension of the European Union's economic sanctions on Russia go for further discussions within the bloc rather than be rubber stamped by EU envoys. My audience, that is a wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website at www.watanelkarama.tv. Thanks very much for being with us. My greeting, Rانيا البليدى.